Game loaded.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of Lessons Learned with your host, Rafael Piñero. A quick shout out to Quentin Smith and Matt Lees, and hoping for all the best in their new channel website called Cool Goes. It's going to cover, of course, video games, let's plays, and comedy skits. The kind of comedy that I like, the British comedy, so to speak. So I wish them the best of luck, and you will see a link down below if you want to check them out. Now on to the program. This is going to be a quick video about the new Dragon Age Inquisition Trespasser DLC. It leaked yesterday in a Spanish site, at least it was dubbed in Spanish. It's very interesting because it seems to be a post-ending DLC. And what I've seen about it, I don't know, I have some questions. Such as the kind of content that it has. It feels as if it should have been the actual ending of the game rather than the ending the core game already has. Not to say that the ending of Inquisition is as bad as, say, other BioWare produced products' endings, Mass Effect 3, but there have been some complaints that it was lackluster. It lacked punch. Now, this DLC apparently deals with what happens after that. The Inquisitor is dealing with the power of the mark that enables to close, the rifts and all that, and deal with the situation in Inquisition. Qunari are showing up through Illuvians, which are supposed to be these ancient mirror devices that connect to the Fade. They were touched upon in Inquisition. They've been touched upon in every game since Origins, but never really dealt with. Although there's a section of Inquisition where they deal with the Well of Sorrows and the Ancient Elves, and well, you should play it. I don't want to spoil it too much. But it is there. But still, it's sort of a side quest thing. And it feels to me like this is the kind of thing that Capcom tried to pull with Asura's Wrath, right? They are basically selling you the actual ending to the game after the game released. A little bit of what happened with Fallout 3 as well, where they, Bethesda sold you the fix to the ending in a DLC. And in many ways, kind of was like the actual ending of the game was Broken Steel. You could argue, in good faith, that the full story ended with the original game. And this is just sort of mopping up. So it's one of those things like, is this the actual ending? Or this is sort of tying loose ends? In other words, because if it's the actual ending that we should have gotten with the core game, then asking for $15 to $20 to finish the game that already should have been finished. Well, you can guess where I'm going with this. I don't like that. If it's a true expansion, which is what I like to see in my DLC, then more power to them. Now, talking about the Qunari and even the Elves, I think those are the kind of things that should have been done at least one game before. I argued in my Dragon Age 2 series that the real threat should have been the Qunari. If they built the game around the Qunari and a Qunari invasion, it would have made a lot more sense. If we're now having the Qunari show up and finally do a thing, again, that feels like, fans have been talking about this for a long time. We got a little bit of more budget for it, and we convinced EA that we can squeeze a couple of more $1 million from the fan base. Let's throw it into a DLC. Again, that feels, I think the word here would be janky. Feels off. Now, we only got a leak, so the information is poor at best. I have to hold judgment until the actual DLC comes out and we get to see what it is. And I'm sure a lot of the fans are freaking out about it. It's like, oh yeah, this is the best thing ever. Because, fans. But I gotta put that warning out there. It's like, yes, this seems interesting, but it has to have an asterisk on this. Because we know that companies like EA and other companies love to chop up pieces of content in order to get as much money as possible. Under the rubric of, hey, video games are expensive and we have to make the money back. But really, hey, we know that we have a dedicated fan base that we can manipulate as we see fit and get as much money from them as possible. So, there you have it. Is Trespasser a good deal? We shall see. Until then, please comment and subscribe, and I'll see you when I see you. Good night.